Floating onto the pickleball court, Head introduces two more paddles into their lineup with the Boom Tour EX and T-Max. The high-performing Boom Tour EX offers a 7.9-ounce weight, a thin 11mm polypropylene core for plenty of power, and a T700 Raw Carbon Fiber hitting surface with added SpinFusion Technology for increased spin potential. The Boom Team EX is a great value paddle at the same weight with a slightly thicker 13mm polypropylene core and a carbon hitting surface with a layer of spin-on technology for impressive spin potential. Now, we play tested these two Boom paddles side by side. Now, they're pretty vastly different paddles. The Tour EX is more of an intermediate to advanced level playing paddle, has a little bit more technology in it, where the Team EX is more of a beginner paddle, great value paddle. What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I thought that they both offered something different. Obviously, I think us being intermediate to advanced, we would tend to like more of the Tour. So I'll start talking about that one first. I really liked that it brought some good pop to it, but it allowed me, I had to really swing out, and when I did, I was rewarded with a lot of pop from the baseline. I'm not really used to 11mm thicknesses, so that was something that I had to get used to. The feel for me was a bit more firm than what I'm used to. It just feels a bit more crisp. And then with the Team version, I felt a little bit more plush, probably thanks to that 13mm thickness. But also, I thought it still had a lot of great features, decent power, pretty good spin with it. What'd you think?
Yeah, when I was hitting with both of them, I found that they really lived up to the name of the Boom. I thought they both offered great power. I'd say between the two, I thought the Tour maybe gave a little bit more power at times, maybe thanks to that 11mm, but I probably prefer the power level of the Team EX, as that gave me a little bit more control. I thought too, when it came to spin, I preferred the spin of the Tour EX. I just liked that surface a little bit more. It was a little bit more grippy. I was really able to kind of roll my wrist and get my balls to dip and get some good spin action, both top spin and underspin.
Yeah, I always like a raw carbon fiber face, so I tended to like that Tour model. But although I will say that the Team version, I felt like I was actually getting decent underspin with this paddle as well. But now let's move on to something I think they both share that we both really like is the handle shape and the quality. These feel like premium handles. They feel really good in the hand. And they also are a little bit extended, so it's nice for players like myself and Brittany that have a two-handed backhand.
Yeah, I was really actually impressed with the quality of the handle. They both feel, even the Team EX, which is more that value paddle, has a great solid feeling handle, and the length is just enough for me to get two hands on the paddle so I can utilize my two-handed backhand, which is one of my favorite shots to hit. Now, I think if we talk about feel, kind of going back and forth, I think you mentioned it briefly, but I did have a bit of an adjustment period getting used to the feel of the paddles. But once I did, I actually was able to really kind of hone in on my touch shots, probably leaning more towards the Tour EX with that feel. But still, both of them, I was able to have some high playing shots and points construction.
Yeah, feel, again, like I mentioned, just something I have to get used to. It's a bit more firm than I'm used to. I like typically a bit more plush feeling, more like ball pocketing type feel. But yeah, I think if you like paddles that have a bit more firm feel, you're gonna like these.
Now, if I had to kind of go into some negatives, the first thing for me was the durability. Now, while I do really like that it has the bumper guard on it, I was noticing after just a couple short hours of play, both the Tour and the Team X are showing quite a bit of wear. Now, we are maybe harder on our paddles, but I feel like when you have that, that bumper guard, it gives you a little bit more protection, so I appreciated that. But I am starting to see some significant wear on both of these, so just something to note. Another thing I wanted to mention was the stability. Now, when I was hitting in the sweet spot on both the Tour and the Team EX, I thought I was getting a nice solid response. However, it was pretty noticeable when I was outside of the sweet spot, which was a lot of times I was feeling that the paddle was a little bit wobbly in my hand, a little kind of moving around, and I wasn't getting a nice ball pop off the paddle.
When I was up at the kitchen line and my opponent was at the baseline hitting big forehands at me, that's kind of where I noticed the instability and actually the drop in power. I just felt like I couldn't get a lot of pop off my shots when I was just blocking shots back. The power came when I was actually taking full cuts at the ball.
On the positive side of that, I thought that both paddles were very maneuverable. From the baseline, I was able to generate some great paddle head speed. And then up at net, I thought that I was really able to maneuver the paddle around my body quickly when I was hitting a lot of quick reflex volleys or just needing to get the paddle into position quickly.
Yeah, and the only thing else I would like to mention is just the weight. I feel like this is a nice weight for most people. I think it's gonna hit the sweet spot for a wide variety of players. I really like where the spec is, just a little under 8 ounces for both paddles, and that's kind of right in my wheelhouse.
Overall, I really like the looks of both these paddles. They're really sleek looking. I think if we were to agree, we both preferred the Tour EX just because we're more the intermediate to advanced level player. However, I think that Team EX is a great option for beginner players looking to get into the sport of pickleball. It's a great option, great price point. And I think that wraps up this review. For more information on these head paddles or anything else pickleball related, head to pickleballwarehouse.com or totalpickleball.com.au.